Hey everyone, happy Tuesday. I am a day late for this week's Creatress chat, but I'm here. I'm happy to be here. Welcome to October. Welcome to quarter four. We have made it just barely. We have 3 more months in the year, 3 more months to close out the year strong. I know 2020 has been a whirlwind of angst and emotion and all this craziness, but I want to encourage you to set your quarter four goals, push for Q4, and to end the year strong. 2020 cannot have the last say, so let us get ourselves together and finish quarter four strong. That's what I plan to do. How are you guys? I'm sorry I wasn't able to check in with you yesterday. I was busy putting some little pieces of things together that I'm going to share with you today. But I wanted to make sure I had everything together and everything in line before I shared information with you guys. So that's why I took yesterday off. I worked I got up at 5, but I worked from 8-ish to 11 last night. So I was working super hard to get this stuff together for you guys, but I'm excited to share some things with you. I'm excited to hop into the conversation for today. So let's get started. Before we get into the conversation and before I share the other stuff with you, which will be later, I want to let you guys know that Creatress Summit 2021, year 3, it is happening, people. It is happening. And I am excited because speaker applications are now open. And applications are already flowing in. So if you've been following me, if you have connected with me before, you know that every year I host a virtual summit called the Creatress Summit. 2019 was our first Creatress Summit, and it was a one-day event, and it was amazing. This year was year 2, and it was 5 days. And 5 days really worked well, and we had over 30 women of color speak at the summit, which was amazing. And then next year, 2021, year 3, it's going to be bigger and better. We're going to do 5 days again. I'm not going to tell you all the details because I want to roll it out. So I won't tell you all the details of what's going to happen at the summit and how we're going to do it. But just know that I have some amazing things in store for the Creatress Summit for 2021, and I'm excited to roll them out. So if you are interested in speaking at the Creatress Summit, I am going to share my screen with you quickly. Creatress Summit applications are now open, and I will drop the link in the comments after the live so that you guys can access it, because through StreamYard, sometimes it doesn't get into certain places, so I'll go through and make sure that the link to the speaker application is under there so you guys can access it. But yes, if you are a woman of color and you work in the media industry, or you have some knowledge to share with other women of color who work in the media industry, apply to be a speaker. There are lots of details on the speaker application on what we're looking for this year for this year's summit. So apply, take your time. You have until December 4th to put together your application, so don't feel like you have to rush and get it in. However, last year we got, for this year's summit, but last year we got tons and tons of applications. So if you want to get your application in the queue to be reviewed at the top, do your application as soon as you can. But yes, Creatress Summit 2021 speaker applications now available. Apply. I'm excited. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing that, and I want to hop into the conversation for today. So we're going to start talking about all things podcasting. In the last few Creatress chats, it's been about branding and about telling your story and about being value-based versus selling-based and everything like that. And it's been really generalized and surface level. But now we're going to start talking about specific types of content and how to create those and why it's important to create those. So we're starting a series on podcasting, all things podcasting. So today, I want to talk about one benefit that I love about podcasting. One very, very crucial and important benefit that I love that podcasting gives you. For those of you, I'm not gonna say that no one knows what podcasting is because it's so big now, but just to clarify the house, podcasting is usually like an audio type show. You stream it on everything: Apple, Spotify, Google, Amazon now has podcasts, so you stream it on all these different services, and it can be anything. It can be conversations between friends. It can be interviews with business owners. It can be audio stories. There are like fictional podcasts, and there are like audio stories, like listening to the old like 20s, 30s, 40s like radio shows where they did like the spooky stories and they like had the big radios and everything. I never seen them, but I did used to listen to those stories. But that's what podcasting is. So my favorite thing about podcasting, and the one big benefit that I love that podcasting gives you, is freedom. Freedom over your message. And I'm going to explain what that means. I have my talking points here. So usually when you're doing like a TV show, or you're doing radio, or even when you're doing things on like Facebook and Instagram, there are regulations. Like you can't use music like on Facebook and Instagram. They'll cut your sound off. On YouTube, they'll cut your sound off if you're using someone else's clip that you don't have the licensing to. In radio, there are like regulations on what you can and cannot say, and how long your segments can be. On cable and on local TV, there are regulations about what you can and cannot say, what you can and cannot show. Podcasting kind of rips all of that off. Now, there are regulations in podcasting about copyright, so you cannot just have a podcast and you're sharing someone else's information or someone else's intellectual property. That rule is the same, but podcasting gives you the freedom to kind of have your show your way. It gives you the freedom to just say what's on your mind, invite whatever type of guests you want, structure your show however you want to structure it. There are no real time limits for podcasting, even though there are like optimal times for like how long someone will listen to your show. But there are no time limits. You don't have to fit yourself into a specific time frame. You don't have to break for commercial if you don't want to. You can continue to talk and talk and talk all you want. Podcasting gives you so much freedom to tell your message. And that's one thing that I love about podcasting, is that it gives you back that freedom. There are so many times when we're trying to tell our stories or trying to share our message, and we censor ourselves because we want to make sure that the platforms that we use approve it, or we want to make sure that it's palatable to different audiences and everything. And podcasting kind of rips that away and say, hey, do whatever you want. Here's your platform. Speak your mind. Structure your show how you want to structure your show. Invite whoever you want to invite, and just do you. So that's one big benefit that I love about podcasting. And I'm going to talk more about podcasting too. This is going to be a few episodes. So I'm talking about this one benefit today, but then next week I'll talk about something else about podcasting, and so on and so forth. So if you feel like I'm like leaving you with a cliffhanger, that's intentional, because I'm going to carry this one through a few different weeks. But I do want to segue a little bit into what I've been working on. So I love that podcasting gives you the freedom, but I know that sometimes podcasting can be overwhelming. There's all types of tech setup, there are mics, and there's recording software, and there's editing software, and then there's marketing and promotion, and then there's getting guests and making sure that your guests actually follow through. There are so many different things to running a podcast that sometimes it can be overwhelming. And sometimes if you are not like inundated in this industry, and you're not like I am, like I'm studying this all the time, I'm like reading articles and reading news all the time about this industry because this is what I do. If you're not doing that, if you say you work in the healthcare industry, you work in the beauty industry, and you're focused on that, but you want to get into podcasting and you don't know where to start, I have something that can help you. So today I am launching enrollment for my new course. I'm so excited to put this together for you guys, because I remember we talked a little bit before about planning your Q4 goals and ending the year on a high note. I want to help you. If podcasting was a goal for 2020 and then 2020 just flipped everything upside down and you're like, I'll just wait, I can't do it, I don't have the time, I don't know what to do, I got you. I have your back. My new course is Plan and Launch Your Podcast in 30 days. So I am going to walk you through everything you need to know step by step to plan and launch your podcast in the next 30 days. It's going to be 6 weeks worth of content. And at the end of the 6 weeks, you will have a functional running podcast that will be up on platforms and ready for your listeners. The enrollment is now open for the course. I know that sometimes getting started and knowing what to do and knowing what tech to use can be stressful, but I want to take away that overwhelm and I want to kind of walk you through it. So there are a ton of podcasting courses out here, I know. And I know that there are a ton of resources out here to kind of teach you how to do podcasting, tons of articles that you can find. But what I am going to do and what I think that will be extremely valuable for you, and I'm hoping will be extremely valuable for you, is that I'm going to take you step by step and tell you every single thing that you need to do. But I'm also going to show you. I'm not just going to say, okay, do this, and figure it out on your own. I'm going to walk you through workshop style exactly how to set up your tech to record, exactly how to download your recordings and get it ready for editing, exactly how to edit your podcast, how to market your podcast and create your graphics, how to set up your show on your different platforms like Apple, like Spotify, like Google. I'm going to walk you through step by step how to do all of that so that at the end of the course, you, one, have your podcast up and running and getting people to listen to it, but then two, you know exactly what to do to keep your podcast running. I think the biggest thing for me sometimes is I got into the throes of like my day-to-day, because I've started multiple podcasts in the past, but I got into the throes of my day-to-day and I didn't have my structure laid out. So it wasn't easy for me to just say, okay, let me kind of like streamline this process and keep this thing steamrolling to keep my podcast going, which my podcasts are coming back too. So be on the lookout for that. But I want to set up that framework for you and teach you that framework so that it's an easy thing. You can schedule 2 or 3 days out of your week and say, okay, these are my podcast days. Today I'm going to record. Today I'm going to edit. Today I'm going to schedule, and have it done. So I will drop the link for this in the comments so that you can check out the course. You can get your seat. Enrollment is open now and enrollment closes. Don't quote me. Hold on. Let me check my dates. Enrollment is going to close on October 16th. Enrollment is going to close on October 16th. So you have 2 weeks to get into the course. 2 weeks to get into the course. Enrollment is open now. Enrollment closes on October 16th, and then the course will start November 2nd. So get your seat, get in there. I'm going to walk you through everything you need to know. I'm going to with the course, you're going to get templates. I'm going to give you templates and everything to email guests, to do graphics, to do all types of stuff that you need to do for your podcast. I'm going to give you templates for that. So that comes with the course. I'm also going to have a few different times set aside for coaching calls. So if you have specific questions that you want me to workshop with you, you'll be able to schedule coaching calls throughout the time of the course to get that one-on-one feedback and that one-on-one help. And then also too, there'll be a group with your cohort. So all the students who enroll in the course, you guys will be able to work together and learn from each other and kind of like network back and forth and see how you can support each other. So you also have that support as well. And then there are also a few other bonuses that I will have, but I'm not going to say because that'll be just for the people who enroll to know. But trust me, they're extremely valuable. So enroll in the course today. The course is $397. $397 flat rate. There is no upsell. It's just $397, or you can get into the payment plan, which is 2 payments of $225. So $397 or 2 payments of $225. And that gets everything included. I know most courses, I won't say most, some courses just give you the course material and then they upsell you with the templates and the coaching calls and all that on the bonus side. I included all that stuff together. I wanted you to get all this value up front so that you can finish out 2020 strong and accomplish these goals. So I will drop the link in the comments so that you can have it and enroll in that course, and you'll see me talk about it more and more and more. So let me recap. I'm going to stop sharing this. I'm going to take this banner off, and I'm going to recap. So one, we talked about walking into Q4 and crushing the end of 2020. Don't let 2020 have the last say. Q4 is 3 months long. You still have time to accomplish your goals, like starting your podcast, which I'll talk about in just a second. Two, we talked about the Creatress Summit 2021 applications being open, speaker applications being open right now. So if you are wanting to speak at the Creatress Summit 2021, get your application in as soon as you can. Those applications close on December 4th. Three, we talked about the value of podcasting and the freedom that it gives you to tell your message your way. There are very little restrictions and regulations for podcasting. There are no time limits. There's really no censorship. You have a few regulations in terms of copyright and licensing if you want to use someone else's content. But if it's just you talking in front of a microphone or you interviewing guests, there's really nothing that you can or cannot talk about. There's nothing that you cannot talk about. So podcasting gives you the freedom over your message, which is why it's so valuable and which is why I think that you should start a podcast, which leads me into the podcasting course. Plan to launch your podcast in 30 days. That course enrollment is open now. Enrollment closes on October 16th. The price for that course is $397. Check out the link below and then get into that course, and we'll start our class on November 2nd. That's all I have for you guys today. Next week, we're going to talk more about podcasting. Get your applications in. Have fun in Q4. It's holiday season, so try and enjoy the holidays with your family as much as possible. I know it's kind of hard with the pandemic, but try and find the joy in life. I know it's difficult, but let's try and find the joy in life. And then also vote. Election is coming up. If you have your ballot already, fill it out and take it in. If you don't have your ballot, it's coming soon. Fill it out and take it in. Don't mail it in. Drop it off at your polling place. Vote, 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 vote. I'm going to end every single live from here until election day with this message. Vote, vote, vote. It is so, 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 so crucial. I won't even tell you how important it is to vote. Just use your voice and vote. Vote, vote, vote. That's all I'm going to say. That's it, guys. I will see you next week. Have a great rest of the week. And yeah, crush it in 2020 at the end of 2020. Crush it. You got it. Crush your goals. I'll see you next week.